We're live, Rami. Hello.
Hello, how are you, Dimitri?
Doing good, doing good. First stream back since the new year.
Yeah, I'm excited. How was your New Year's?
Uneventful, which was by design. So I think very good.
Yeah, so it's a kind of like a chill staycation. Okay, so do you remember where we stopped last time? Because I don't.
Not at all, not at all. Um, I guess we were working on design dot again. Do you want to remind people what design dot was?
Yeah, Design Dot is basically a website for thoughtbot designers to share their work, share their designs, engage with the community. Uh, we already have this design here on Figma, and we want to convert it into an actual website using Eleventy, the Eleventy framework. And right now we have did npm start. I just want to see where we are right now. Okay. Um, let me bring in the browser. Sorry. Okay, so this is where we are right now. This is on the main, but I remember we had another branch, right? Let me just push this guy here.
Yeah, you know what? I can look that up for you. George was driving last time,
Mhm.
and I think that he might have pushed on a branch.
Okay. Uh,
Right.
Zero.
The branch is called Continued Design
This one.
Blog Section Index.
Okay. Yeah. So are we gonna do something more technical this time?
I would be so my vote would be on continue with maybe another section if we think this one looks okay.
You mean like these over here?
These and then there was another one in the in Figma. Was it the actual AMA section? You know, you ask us anything, we answer.
Yeah, this one. But we don't have any content for this, and it's pretty much gonna be very similar to this one, to the blog. And what we
Okay.
have right now is we have this already. Okay, so this is labeled wrongly. This is supposed to be a blog, right? Yeah. Okay. So this is probably hard coded, and over here, this is not loading anything. So I'm guessing we're doing something wrong.
Yeah, I think we ran into this last time. So what we found out was we were trying to pull the latest blog posts, and this can be a problem because the way we're pulling them, we only get the ones from the last week, and if the publication date is uh, older than that, it doesn't show up. So we were thinking about some different ways of pulling in the content from the blog, but I think that may be a larger chunk of work. We thought about automating it, and we did, and in the end, we thought maybe we need to have more editorial control over how it appears here, and we thought we would put that in the CMS instead. So having people duplicate the content in a way, but the content to be duplicated is literally the intro sentences of 4 blog posts. So that I don't know. We can talk about it, but to me it seems like a reasonable trade off. because maybe on a technical, you reduce technical complexity and you get a little bit more editorial control. And the downside of that is, of course, you need to then manually copy over some content or write your own content. Well, not right, but you know what I mean. Like you take maybe the excerpt from the blog post, and you shorten the sentence here and there, something like that. But maybe that leads to a better result. What's your take on it?
Yeah, I'd like to have more control. That's a lot better than just pulling from the main blog. So are you saying we need some sort of CMS, right?
Yeah, I'm even wondering if we already have a CMS set up here. I thought I'd seen something.
Before moving on, it's over here on Git. It's saying on a detached head state. Can we fix this first?
Yes, we can. So what I can do is I can. I'm going to take over the mouse in tuple or the keyboard. Git checkout, and I'm going to try to paste the name of the branch. Yeah. So this should be where we last left off with George.
Okay. So what do you want to do now?
Okay, so we can. I guess this is the usual thing that we do before every pairing session. we started about almost 10 minutes ago, but we forgot to do the thing that we do at the beginning, which is agree how long we're going to go, agree what we're going to work on, and who's going to drive, and so on. So we thought that for today we could go for about 90 minutes, but we'll take a break about after 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And
for 5 minutes.
Yeah, and I guess you're doing the driving this time. We tend to switch, but it's easier if one person drives throughout the whole stream.
Yeah. And what do you want to do?
So my question is, how does this all fit? We have now a sort of what do you call it? A front page. How do we intend to ship this? So do we want to wait until we have all sections and then ship the front page? Do we want to keep a number of do you know what I'm saying? Do you want to wait until we ship the whole thing? Do we want to ship piece by piece? What pieces do we have already in production? And what is the strategy?
So right now we already have something live for the design sprint. Sorry. I think it's design.thoughtbot. We already have this portion. So this portion basically should link to this. So our page should supersede the product design sprint page and link to it. And we already have like a big chunk of the blog working. So we might want to launch with this and the design sprint, which is already live. And then maybe work on the AMA in the background. What do you think? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. What I'm wondering is there's this section at the top, at the very top of this page now.
Yeah, these are probably just going to be images or sections that we need to highlight. So that's another thing that we need to decide on. What do we want to highlight, or how do we want to build the whole feature? So that's like 3 big chunks right now.
For the page that's in production, do we have any do we have an introductory paragraph or something? No, it's saying this is the design sprint guide.
Yeah.
Right.
So this section here on the bottom should basically just have a link to this page, and these links should just go to the relevant pages. So if we have like something here like called check it out or something, it will just link to this page. But these also should link to the links up here, the pages under these. If that makes sense. So if I click on schedule, it should take me to schedule here directly.
Nice. Yeah, I think I understand it. In a way, I was wondering if we want to have an explanation. You know, if someone lands on design.thoughtbot.com, what do they see? Do they see any explanation of what they're doing, of what they're looking at, or do we go with that? There was a warning on the production website that we were building in the open, and things may look a bit strange for a little while.
Yeah.
Is that, are we happy with that?
Yeah.
As an intro.
I would love to have this once we launch.
Yeah. So a principle of that I tend to follow is getting, so the thing that's closest to being shipped, we ship that. But the thing that we did have is the blog posts. But as we're saying, there's a small problem with that it doesn't always pull the right data. So this is the closest to being completed. So I would maybe continue working on that. What do you think?
I completely agree.
Yeah, cool.
And then maybe work on this section over here, just adding the links and somehow figure out how both these are tied together, because these I think are two different repos. So maybe we merge the repos somehow and then launch. But for now, let's focus on the blog.
Yeah, nice. So I was talking about the CMS, and it seems like this is already configured more or less in this repository. There's an admin folder or directory, and in the admin directory, there's a file called config.yaml.
Admin and config. Oh.
Yeah. Would you mind making your font size bigger? That's better, thank you.
Okay. So what are we looking at?
All right, so you see how on line 8 it says collections?
Line 8?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a top level key called collections, and these collections are, well, collections or what's another word for it? Groups of things, of concepts that we have in the CMS. So a collection could be, let's say, a collection of blog posts or something. Here we have a collection of exercises, schedule, and then something else. By defining a structure here in the YAML file, we are configuring the admin area of the CMS. The CMS is so the content management system is, I always forget what it's called, but it used to be called Netlify CMS. And it's something that runs in the browser directly. There's no backend to it. It's a single page application. Decap CMS, probably.
This is version 1. I think it's outdated, right?
Let's find out. What does it say in our package JSON? Or maybe it doesn't say anything because how is it even installed? I think it's installed by you import a file, I think, somewhere. So it's not even from NPM. We should look for either Netlify throughout the code base. Like if you do oh yeah, Netlify CMS server.
Yeah, so we have these files over here.
It's looking like it's still called Netlify CMS, so maybe that was added before the project was renamed to Decap. Which means we can go to the Netlify CMS documentation and go from there. Right, can you go to docs? And when it says, where it says collection types is what we want to look at. So this is getting into, I was thinking maybe what would illustrate it better if we actually open the CMS.
As in login to Netlify?
No. Yeah, this is the confusing part. So it used to be called Netlify CMS, but it was built by, I guess maybe the project was launched by Netlify, the company, but it doesn't, the CMS doesn't require a Netlify account necessarily. So that's a bit confusing. The CMS can run locally. So in our project, so you ran npm start, right?
Yeah.
And that opened the Eleventy server, or started the Eleventy server. But there should also be something about the Netlify server.
8081.
I see.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay. Netlify CMS proxy server. I was wrong. It's documented in the README. So it says go to localhost 8080/admin.
/admin?
Yeah. And it says tap login. No login is required. I don't know what it's doing right now. Perhaps.
It says content manager here. It's not loading.
Yeah, new year, new debugging problems.
Sorry?
I'm saying it's a new year, and new debugging problems. Okay, so it says to access the CMS, run everything above. I'm just looking at the README, the getting started section in the README. So we have run bin setup, I assume. And then it's either run bin dev or npm start. And you've run npm start, right?
Yeah. We use Decap CMS locally. By default, Decap CMS will run background area. Maybe try running bin dev.
Yeah, sure. It actually seems bin dev is literally npm start.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
Ah,
okay, so, oh, okay.
nice.
Nice. So do you see what I mean by collections? There's this list of collections on this in the sidebar.
Yeah, so we have exercise over here, and then
Yeah. So I guess
schedule.
before we add a new one, let's see what the existing ones are. So for example, we have exercises, and then you can click on one of the exercise cards, and that gives you a structure of its own with a title, with tags, with a rich text body thing, and maybe others. So all of this is defined by this YAML structure.
Yeah. So this is reflected here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Although this is production, and the other, what you were looking at is the local copy in the other repository. But yeah, same idea.
Okay.
And so in the source code, if we look at the structure for exercises, there's some fields, and the field is, for example, the field name is title, and the widget is a string. Then we have tags, and I guess where it says options, there the possibilities for tags, which are hard coded. I didn't know about this. And then there's one more, on line 32. There's one more field, which is it's called body, and the widget is of type markdown. And I think markdown is a way of them saying store the result of this is markdown, but I think the CMS itself can display it either as a rich text editor or as markdown. There's some kind of toggle. All of this is implemented in the only in the front end in the CMS. And what ends up happening is when you save something in the CMS, we should refer to the documentation, but from what I remember, you can either, when you save a local file, or you can also open a pull request. There's different workflows. And that's actually also defined in this config YAML file. So we should look at the top of config YAML to see what kind of... So it says that it's the backend is a Git gateway, meaning it's going to store the content in Git, in the Git repository, and it says local backend true, which means it's going to use your local Git repository. So if I'm not mistaken, what this means is to add new content, you can run the CMS locally, and then you can save it, and it's going to add a new file to your Git repository, and then you can commit that and push it. So it seems like the CMS runs locally, like it's your local content editor and not something that you run online. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's close another gap of let's connect another dot. Where is then this exercise file? Because we have this list of exercises. They should be somewhere in that structure.
Here.
Yeah. So
I guess it would be. Sorry. Yeah. You have a folder called Sprint Guide.
Yeah. Let's try to do something. Let's, in the CMS, why don't we try to modify let's say that something, anything.
Oops. Why is this jumping down the line? Okay. And save, right?
Yeah.
changed.
Okay, so it modified this file. Good.
Okay. Things are lining up.
Cool. So then, what do you think? Shall we try to define a new category of things for blog posts?
Yeah. It's in the config, right?
Yeah, would be in the config.
So something like name post or blog post. This.
Yeah. I don't know about this. Probably we'll take the same and discover as we go along.
Maybe I should just copy and paste this stuff. Okay. Folder. We don't have that, right? We just be pulling it from somewhere, right?
Yeah, so we get to decide where do these blog posts, where are they saved in our project directory? So for the exercises, it was in the sprint guide exercises, but it seems to me, it sounds like blog posts would be a separate concept.
Yeah. Are we going to just pull from the main blog every time? Because in the case of something is updated, we don't want to load something outdated, right?
So here you're talking about automation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure we're going to do that. What I had in mind was the same way as now you have a list of exercises, and those are just files on the file system, and that get loaded in the CMS. That it would be the same with blog posts. Later on, we could maybe have some kind of script that tries to pull the latest ones or something. But I would start with the simplest thing possible, which is not connect to the blog at all. And when someone needs to add the latest blog post, they go to our blog, they copy the title and do it manually. Yeah.
So we're not going to use the RSS anymore?
We may still use the RSS later as an as an improvement of the workflow to get the latest things.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe just create a folder called posts or design posts.
Or you could call it blog. That's fine, or blog posts or something. Yeah.
So yeah, folder would be blog posts, right?
Yeah, I'd say so. I don't know if that should be one word or what, but we can leave it like that for now.
We'd have a title, so same thing.
Sounds good to me.
What's widget? I guess it's the type of the field.
Yeah, I think the widget is the thing that lets you edit the content in the CMS. And you can take the built-in widgets or you can provide your own widgets. So when you say widget string, this is an input field.
Okay.
But yeah, I think we can get by with the by copying things that we see in the other one. Did blog posts have tags? So here I'm wondering, we can have a complete representation of blog posts and all the data we have about them, but maybe we can look at Figma and figure out what are the different parts that we need to display and get just those.
So we have the title, title, date, author, and excerpt, and actual blog.
When the say actual blog would be what, the link to the blog post?
No, I mean like the whole thing expanded.
Are you sure about that? When you click continue reading, would you want to display it on the same page, or would it redirect to our blog?
No, redirect.
Yeah. I think in this case we don't need the complete content. We can just get by with the excerpt, right?
But when I go into CMS, I would need the body, right? I need to define the section.
Yeah, but I think we could if we're only going to ever display an excerpt, we can have something that edits just the excerpt. So you don't copy paste the whole body of the blog post, but you paste a paragraph and then you shorten it as you see fit.
Okay, but then when I publish a new design blog post, how do I do it? Do I do it in the code itself, in GitHub?
Let me clarify this. So I think, or let me clarify a question. When you say when I want to publish a new design blog post, at what stage are you? Have you written the blog post yet?
Yes, so right now at thoughtbot, we have our own main blog. So I would write a blog that's design focused, publish it on thoughtbot. My understanding from the flow that you're talking about, once I'm done with that, I would come to the CMS and add the same content, right?
Yeah. You would.
This raises some SEO questions, but I don't want to tackle this for now. But in that case, we would need a full representation of a blog engine that I can post in, right?
I think not necessary. What I'm envisioning here is, think of this not as a blog post, but think of it as like as if we're just writing the content of the card that links to the blog post. So we're free to write something completely different in here, but we would generally reuse the same title of the blog post and link to it.
Okay, let's just charge forward, let you lead, and see where we end up.
Sure, yeah. So for me, the next step here would be, we have a title. Let's add an author.
Same format?
I think same format.
Excerpt?
Yeah, and the excerpt I would make into widget markdown, because that could be more than one paragraph, or there could be links inside.
Yeah. Okay. Can we try to just make sure this is actually reflected in the CMS? If I went to I closed the whole thing.
Try going to back to the CMS.
I didn't say. Oh. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, this is not gonna work out. I lost everything we did. Sorry. Did I?
I think it's fine.
Clean closed. Well, that's embarrassing. Okay. Okay, let me set things up a little bit. Put some elevator music. Okay, that's better. Yeah. Thank you for.
This is a good time to say that if you're in chat, say hello, ask questions. What we're working on right now is a new section of the thoughtbot website. This section is dedicated to content produced by thoughtbot designers. Something like this already exists on the website, but we want to model it better, or also redesign it, I guess. And we have ideas to add new sections, like an AMA section, Ask Me Anything, to make the website more interactive and connect more with the design community, I guess. Does that represent it correctly, Rami?
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, can you bring me back? We were doing this in config, right? Okay, so everything is gone. Let's redo it. So was it after exercise? It doesn't matter really, right?
It doesn't matter. I think you had a good idea of copying the exercise section and adapting it. And would you mind bumping up your font size again? Yeah, that's better, thanks.
Sorry, except right? Okay.
Nice.
Technically, we should have this here, right? Okay. That's
very nice. Can you also open it so that we see the representation in the file? I see. Yeah, it's a little bit weird because of this front matter format.
Oh. So if I remove it and publish, no, it's acquired. Okay. Why did it add all that mumbo jumbo? Okay.
Yeah, very nice. Okay, so what other fields do we have? Looking at the Figma, we also have the picture. Oh, we have the date. Yeah, let's add the date.
Okay. Date or publishing dates? Because there might be an editing date, right?
Yeah, so we could call it published at or something.
Like this?
No, I meant published at.
So would I do it this way with the underscore? I hope it's date.
Don't know.
Let's see. Okay.
Yeah.
Can I do
published,
something like this?
Published with ed, or yeah, you can.
Did this work? Yeah.
So that gives it the name, but how does it put it in the saved file? Yeah, I would try to give. So you see how published at is 2 words. I think that's going to cause problems.
Yeah.
So I think that should be the label, but the name should be something with an underscore, or maybe a camel case or something.
An application. Okay. So we'll just call it published ad, like we used to have it, and then label.
Yeah. Oh, and in the field, I would have this. Oh yeah, comma is missing.
In the field, I would have that.
Before the underscore, I would also add it in the past tense, like published at.
Okay, and we also have a picture. How would we do that? Object, image. I'll try that.
Seems reasonable. I've never used it, but let's give it a try.
Sorry. Image.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And so that added an asset.
Okay, the asset already existed because I chose it from the CMS itself.
Right.
But I can upload something.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I think we can skip that part for now. I guess because of the 2 versions, we have published that as 1 word and as 2 words in that one file, and we can remove one of them. And then, yeah, I was going to say for avatar, I think if the label is the same as the name, we can use the default and not specify a label. But that just, both are
no, fine. I mean, I just didn't want to figure out what to do, but like, I want like authors avatar.
Cool.
Shall we take a break?
Sounds good. Let's take a 5-minute break.
Yeah.
And yeah, see you soon.
See you. Okay, back.
Hello, welcome back.
Thank you. So, after a very slow start for our first segment, hopefully we can pick up now. So I think we captured everything, right?
I think we're missing one
Featured.
piece, which is
The featured
featured.
part.
Featured could be good.
And the type would be a Boolean. They're a Boolean, yeah. Okay. Anything else?
How would we get the latest one? Just by date? I'm guessing. Like how do we want this? We'll have a collection of blog posts. Then the featured ones will be tagged manually.
Yeah, and this is the latest.
And this is the latest. Cool. Yeah, and one more thing, you see how we have the continue reading link, and obviously we have links to the other blog, the feature blog posts. I guess we would also need the URL to the blog post as a
for
field.
each blog post, right?
Yeah.
URL. Don't need the label. And is there a URL type?
I don't know.
Okay, let's check. Text, I guess, or string maybe.
Yeah, string might be the closest. I think text is multi-line text.
Yeah. There are custom. No. You can create custom widgets, but that's something maybe we should look into later.
You know, if it's something that we control and it's something that you do offline and you like double check before you commit, I think it's going to be fine. Like people can learn how to use it, and they know how to copy paste the URL.
Okay, I just want to kind of rearrange these. I'm guessing a URL should be up here on the top. And maybe the avatar with the author. Okay.
There's even, when you talk about avatar, I'm thinking about, we could have a separate collection for authors, but then it gets complicated. And it looks like, you know, for the author, we can just have a plain text name in every blog post so that, you know, we don't have to manage authors here. And for pictures, it's almost the same. I think that the CMS has a thing has a collection of images. And so if the same author has multiple blog posts, then the image will only be once, and then we'll reference the same image in multiple places.
So are you saying we should create an authors collection?
No, no. I was just saying it would be possible, but probably we don't
For
need
now,
one.
we'll just keep it simple.
Exactly.
Okay, so what's next?
I think we could commit here, actually.
Okay, it's actually on the wrong branch.
Yeah, if you want, you can create a new branch from that.
CMS, initial CMS integration, or adding blog posts to CMS.
I would use that one.
This shouldn't be modified.
No, but we were playing around with it earlier, remember?
Yeah. Okay.
I had the back in 5 for a long time. I guess we're technically here.
The blog post collection and relevant fields. Okay, and wrap it here. So what's your full name? Dimitri.
Petrov.
I remember George did this cool thing that just simplified this whole thing, right?
Yeah, but I think his solution uses the public information stored on GitHub.
That's your proper email?
I guess so. Let's commit and not care about too much at this point. We can fix it later.
Cool. So what's next?
How would you like to add some blog posts in our collection and then try to render them?
Actual blog posts from thoughtbot?
No, we can add. I mean, it depends what you want to do, but yeah, we can add actual blog posts.
I want something design specific.
Yeah, so in that case, do you want to look at the design tag?
Okay. So the workflow will be like this. Just copy. Obviously, at some point, we would want a collection, an author's collection, right?
Not necessarily. And okay, so this thing with the avatar is interesting because I think for the URL, we would want the complete URL.
So let's before going into the URL, what's interesting with the author avatar?
We don't have avatars on our current blog, and so I wouldn't. This is something that I would keep the robot avatar for now as a placeholder.
Okay.
And this is a discussion to have later. And for the URL, I would use the full URL.
Localhost, something.
No, sorry. If you go back to the blog post,
this one,
the blog, yeah, just copy that entire URL. Thoughtbot.com blog, yeah. because that would make it easier then to, if we have the absolute URL, we don't need to construct URLs from there. Makes it a lot more manageable.
It's called test because I just overdid on the same post. Still called test here.
Yeah, I mean, this we can do whatever we want. We can rename the file. Also, if you add a new blog post, let's see how it does it for a new blog post.
Space to rename it. It's gone. Okay. Okay, so let's do another one then. And it can't be anything, right?
It can be anything, yeah.
We need to add like an optional field in the YAML.
Yeah. I think now that we have the two, oh, did it not save?
It has to be featured.
Oh, I see.
Okay. We need to fix this, I think. This is, okay. What was it called? YAML or config, right?
Config YAML, yeah.
And where is it? No, this is the custom one. Optional. So just optional true, right? Required, that's false. So avatar required false, and the featured required false, right?
Yep.
Okay, let's see. Ah. Okay. Let me do it.
So now that we have a featured post and a non-featured post, what we could do is maybe copy the files under different names or something.
Sorry, what are you trying
so
to do?
I'm thinking about what do we want to achieve? We want to now display this content, and we're building kind of a database now of blog posts that we want to display.
Yeah.
But for testing purposes, we don't need that many. So either we can start with just the two of them, or we could continue adding manually, or we could copy paste that or duplicate that file and just rename it.
Yeah. So to duplicate, copy. Yeah, just call it 2. And 3. Is that good enough?
Yeah, sure. Okay, how do we get those into Eleventy?
You tell me.
I think so. Eleventy can read files from disk. We need to point it to the right directory. I wonder how it works for the sprint guide exercises.
So maybe open the home page, which is, let's test. Okay. Where would the home page be? Is it this one? Yeah. Over here.
So this is where we want to add them, but I was thinking first we could check how it renders other existing content that was added with the CMS. So we know that schedules, exercises, and something else was added manually. So we could go to sprint guide index and check that out.
Yeah, the render over here.
Okay, so that's schedules. Oh, look, line 75, sprint guide.schedules. Where did that come from? Schedules.
There. You mean this one?
Oh, there's a JSON collection. So it's no, sorry, that's something else.
There's a phases one. I don't know.
Oh, you know what? Okay, so I didn't make a mistake before. I guess I did make a mistake. So sprint guide, as we see here, is the website. It's the templates and configuration and all of these things, but it's not the data. The data is in the underscore data directory.
Yeah.
And so I think what we need to do is move our blog posts to the data directory. And reconfigure our CMS to save in that directory instead.
Okay. It's online here, right? But in the sprint guideline on line 32, it doesn't say data.
So how are exercises then rendered?
You want to take control?
Yeah, I'm not sure about the exercises. I think we just leave it. So I think the hunch of putting the blog posts in data is fine.
Okay.
And then, so that, having put it now in the blog post directory, in the data directory, we have added a new collection called blog posts. It's underscore data. And so you had a file open before, which is the top level index.
For the blog or for exercises?
Yeah. I think for the blog. So previously in this branch, we had something called blog posts. We had a blog post collection, but with an underscore between blog and posts. But I dare say that our blog posts without underscore should now contain the new thing. The only thing is it wouldn't have these things about latest and featured. So we need to maybe simplify this content. Maybe we can comment out a section for now. Or even
this section over here.
Can you undo the edit we did before about removing the underscore? Yeah, let's leave this be because we know it doesn't work, but it doesn't hurt anything. It doesn't break anything. Yeah, let's go to the featured posts on 122. And it's looping through a collection. So, as the smallest step, let's make it loop through all of our blog posts first. So I guess would be blog posts and then no featured.
No. Did it change anything?
Are you running the server?
Yeah, well, it's running.
Yeah. Maybe the console has some kind of output. The Eleventy server. Maybe the Eleventy server logs have some output.
Yeah, so that is stuck in no man's land because remember when I closed the console, I need to exit it because if I'm to say already running. Yeah, so it's because it's in use. So what's the best way to exit this?
All right, so I suggest we do this. I will unshare your screen and you can, I think through your activity monitor, you can stop everything that's running Node.
Can you see my screen?
No. Well, I can see your screen, but we're not sharing your screen on the stream.
Node, right?
Yeah.
There's all this Node stuff.
Yeah, try closing all of it. And then also try, I think there was one called Ruby, probably, because, oh no, that's fine. Okay. Yeah, let's try again.
Okay. We're back.
All right, we are indeed back.
So this is where we are, right? Yes. Nope. Should be blog post or data.
I don't know. Can you try just like this with the added space? I wonder if that's also a parsing problem.
It's not picking up the blog either, right? This site. It's not all of these files. It's not picking up the blog posts. Just picking up site sprint guide, right?
Yeah. So here I would, how I would approach this is go to the Eleventy website documentation.
Nope. Okay.
Yeah, and then go to the docs, I guess, and look for data.
Font matter.
Actually, yeah, I don't know. Collections. Oh, maybe there was something about collections. Okay, so where does sprint guide come from? Or schedules? Schedules were definitely added somewhere.
Here.
Okay. How does it look on disk? We have data sprint guide, schedules. Can you open that? Oh, and then it's JSON. I see. All of these are formatted as JSON. But that should be okay. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to look at. I'm going to briefly look at the source code of some other things like any, or you can look it up as well. Just an Eleventy blog of any kind, because I think the structure that we have is exactly the same. We're not actually rendering the blog posts, but we're reading the blog posts from disk, and they can be in the data directory.
There are examples. Okay, yeah. These guys. Let me get up link. But this is their project itself, not the website.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I would go to maybe Eleventy blog starter or something like that.
Search, you mean?
I don't think this will get us to.
I just go to GitHub and search.
I'll find you an example.
Here.
Yeah, that's the one. So what do we have in the data folder here? Just metadata. Oh, because the content comes from content. I see. Markdown in Eleventy data. Template data files. Okay, so I was, So there's this content directory. Is that, can you use the GitHub search to, I guess not, because you're not signed in here. Can you look for content?
Like search content?
Yeah. In the code. Oh, that's this. Okay. Okay.
I can bring in my other browser.
No, that's unfortunate. I'll get you something. I would just look up some other projects that use Eleventy, that use the content. Okay, so Eleventy has an input directory in Eleventy.js.
Can you share the link?
That's in every Eleventy project. So in our project, we have a .eleventy.js configuration file. Or maybe we don't, but we can define one. Okay. So that you can find in the Eleventy docs.
This one?
Yeah, it could be called Eleventy config. Yeah. And towards the bottom of the file, there should be something about an input directory. Yeah, and here the input is called content. And the data is called data and so on. So I think we can take that and customize it.
Why not?
Although I'm a bit surprised, like how does it pick up the other things like the sprint guide schedules? Oh, I guess because it's a JSON formatted thing.
It has stuff in it. I created it, but when I opened it, there's all this stuff in it. Did it auto generate?
That's strange. Oh, maybe we already had it.
Yeah. Yeah, it already exists.
Oh, it was called Eleventy config. Yeah, I got you. Right. So in that case, I think we add that part about the directory. And it would probably be in the return section.
Where? Okay, so sorry, this Vim is changing it to these characters. Which return section? All of these are returns.
All right, after line 54, I think you can paste it.
Okay. And the input would be data.
Blog posts.
Okay. Blog posts.
And we would get our blog posts out of the data folder again.
Yeah. And the rest is fine, right?
Yeah, I'm wondering if we can omit the rest, but let's keep it like this. Maybe we're breaking something.
And remove the blog post?
The blog posts, I would move them to the other directory.
To the root, right?
Yeah, to the root. And let's not reconfigure the CMS just yet.
Okay.
We have a parsing error. Are we missing a comma after line 54?
Yes, probably. Okay.
And I would restart Eleventy for good measure. And then what were we doing in the index file? We wanted to access the collection called blog posts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm also not sure about this. Okay, content. If we have content, then
There are errors here. That's good. Okay, so is this recent? No. Okay, never mind. But it picked it up, right? You have blog posts here.
yeah.
Maybe that they're not featured. None of them are featured. Oops.
Input blog collections. Oh, what if our input directory was? Okay, I'm still not sure. Let's do it the other way around. Let's try commenting out or undoing that Eleventy config. And I also think we need to wrap up soon. But let's comment out our Eleventy config, or yeah, undo, and then
Just comment out.
sure, yeah. Okay, we have moved the blog post thing to the top level.
Yeah, and I changed the config back.
Yep, great. Then in the index, let's access it through collections.blogposts. Okay.
We'll wrap it up.
Yeah. I think we can wrap up, read some documentation, and come back better prepared next time.
Sorry. Just want to see if there's nothing really major or changes, right?
No, I'd leave it at that because we had something that was, well, not working, but we had configured the CMS part.
Yeah.
But now we're having trouble rendering, and I'd rather not commit anything that's breaking the rest of the website.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, Dimitar, thank you very much. That was stressful and fun at the same time. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does a little bit. Cool. So
all right. See you next week.
Now that we're back in the new year, we'll try to do this regularly again, and yeah, we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.